This ruin isn't marked on the map either. So they're like memorial plaques. Good morning. This may look familiar. It's where I was last week. So I've just walked up Cumberland Brook. I didn't bother scrambling up the brook itself. Last week I was thinking there's maybe 2 walks to be had from the area that I walked last week, but I've decided just to do it as one. It's maybe pushing things a little bit to try and get 2 walks out of it. So today I will be exploring up there, that middle section where there's a mound that's possibly a barrow, possibly just a quarry works. And then I'll be going back to the Scaurs and hopefully walking the Scaurs today. As you can see, I've come down to below this waterfall, but there's not much water flowing, unfortunately. So last week I went that way on the way up and then came back that way. Today I want to check out the middle section and have a look at the mound on top. Well, I'm here and I'm none the wiser. Well, I'm literally stood on top now. Look at that view. There's no obvious quarry workings immediately next to this. And looking at the shape, this really doesn't look like a natural feature. There's no evidence that this is simply from quarrying. I'd say there's a very good chance that this is a barrow, but it's not marked on the map. So that's evidence that this is constructed rather than natural, and rather than just a random pile of earth. Although this might change everything. So I'm just the other side of it and there's a ruin of some kind of building which adds weight to the idea that that is quarrying related or mining related. So I just don't know is the simple answer, but this ruin isn't marked on the map either. Anyway, I'm going to head off in that direction, cut across and join the path that I took last week I took the path coming down. I'm going to rejoin the path and go up. It's not a good day for waterfalls. It's been pretty dry for once. Made a slight deviation to actually come down and have a look at this. Last week I walked along the top and you can hear it but you can't see it. So I just walked around to have a look. I can see something potentially intriguing. There's a sign there, a yellow sign. I mean, it's a really nice spot. If there was more water flowing, it would be amazing. So they're like memorial plaques, and there's others. There's at least 2 others I can see. Yeah, with so little water coming off it, it doesn't look particularly nice. It looks quite slimy. So at a guess, I would say these are for pets, maybe dogs. And I would guess that the same person put these there. Right, well ahead is the Cat and Fiddle. And this is the point where I'm going to turn off and head down to the Scaurs. And here we are at the Scaurs. For those of you who watched last week's video will know that I came and took a look. I didn't really come much further than where I'm stood right now, but I came and had a look with a view to potentially walking it. And I'm back here today to attempt to walk it. The Scaurs isn't that long, and it leads into another, I don't know what you would call it, ravine maybe, called Chest Hollow. And then it pretty much comes to an end, leaving you away from a public footpath and at the end of the access land. So I'm not sure whether we can even walk down here. But we're going to try and get down into Chest Hollow, try and walk along Chest Hollow, and then take it from there. This will probably be a much more interesting walk after heavy rain, but also possibly quite a bit more difficult as well. There are vehicle tracks, which gives me some hope that this is walkable. I'm guessing that's an old quarry right there. I don't think this is entirely natural. I think you might struggle a little bit if you were coming here after heavy rain, because you really are walking in the bed, the stream bed. So it seems to already be opening up. Less dramatic now. So this is the end of the Scaurs, and over there is Chest Hollow. I have to admit to being slightly disappointed by the Scaurs. It looks so impressive when you look at it on the map. So there is a style, but as you can see, it's not really functional. But luckily, there are other places for me to get over the fence without too many problems. Okay, then we're in Chest Hollow now. This is access land. But that wall there marks the end of the access land. This is quite a magical spot. Can't really film it very well though. I don't know how well this is coming out. I suspect it's not coming out very well because of the sunlight. There's nowhere to walk, and that's pretty deep just there. This is a lovely little enchanted spot. The map shows a couple of old sheepfolds right here. One there. There's nothing obvious there, but another one there which is a bit more obvious. That's interesting. So clearly it's a gate, clearly there are signs for walkers. There are no paths though marked on the map. The arrow is pointing off in that direction, and you can see the line of a trail following the other side, and that side is private land. But I don't know where it goes because it's not marked on the map. It seems to be heading in the right direction, but for now at least I haven't finished exploring, so I'm going to keep following this down, and I may well come back to that point. So I'm at the end of Chest Hollow. That wall there indicates not only the end of Chest Hollow but also the end of the access land. It's all private beyond that point. The trail I'm on though, which isn't marked on the map, is headed up here. So I'm going to follow it. There might be another gate that we can get through. Right, so it does lead to a gate. There's nothing to say private property, but there's no public footpath signs either. The path the path that's the other side that crosses over, that runs just up there. You can see another little gate there in the wall, and it goes that way, which is the direction I want to go in. So I may backtrack and take that path, but it's come up for lunchtime. I'm still just about on access land, and I want to go up to those rocks and see what I can see. Right, well, when I was planning this walk, I honestly didn't know what I was going to do at this point, but I was aware that there is a public footpath that runs through that private land about where that stream is in the valley. In fact, initially it's over the other side, and then it crosses over onto this side and goes down that way. So the plan was to see if I could get to that and then follow it back, and I think I could. I think if I backtracked, took that path, I would end up joining up with that track and then being able to go down. I think. I can't be 100% sure, but it would certainly take me very, very close to that path. But the alternative is to follow this, to follow the edge of the access land around and go back that way. So those are my options. I will go up to those after lunch, but it's a bit windy up here, so I found these, which offer a little bit of shelter from the wind. It's actually quite a nice bit of shelter here. So I think this will be my lunch spot. Well, I've had my lunch, sat right there. It's a good little spot, pretty much completely out the wind, and as soon as you stand up you're in the wind, but sat there it's perfect. Nice little sun trap as well, and I've had a think, and I'm not going to walk the footpath, that's too boring. I'm going to head up, check out those rocks, and then walk along the top. There's Cuckoo Rocks, and if I just keep going, I'll figure out a way to get back to the car. So these are Cuckoo Rocks. I think this rock outcrop extends for some distance. I think this is just kind of the edge. If you can see, there's a whole herd of deer that must have heard me and took fright just then. I think I managed to just about catch them. There's quite a few. An interesting ruin there as well. I'm guessing this is an old sheepfold. The map shows something else as well, just the other side. It was very small, whatever it was. Possibly a shooting cabin, but very, very small. Well, the ruin of the farm building is just there, so this could be a storehouse. It's a bit far to be an outside toilet. Okay, that's what I think is the sheepfold. I'm fairly confident that's the sheepfold. That's the unknown, very small ruin. And there's the ruined farmhouse. The forested hill in front of me is called Yarnshaw Hill. Interestingly, on old maps it's called Hernshaw Hill. It's private land, unfortunately. This here is Yarnshaw Gutter, and it becomes Yarnshaw Brook, and it goes all the way down to the road. Unfortunately, it is on private lands. There's the fence. I'm still on access land. Okay, so I just had another look at the map. By the looks of it, if I want to keep on access land, I've got no option but to go back down via Cumberland Brook, because that is the only corridor of access land that takes you back to the car park. This is Correction Brook, and where those cows are, that's the edge of the access land. Correction Brook goes into Yarnshaw Brook, which goes down to the road. Not far to go now before I get to the top of Cumberland Brook. So there we go, that's the path that goes towards Three Shires Head. Three Shire Heads. That's Cumberland Brook. There's the old cottage, the boarded up Cumberland cottage. And just down there's the car park. That's been quite a good walk. Quite enjoyed it. It was interesting checking out that mound, whether it's a barrow or some kind of quarry working, spoil heap. I've no idea what it is. But it was interesting, especially to see that ruin hidden behind it. The Scaurs was good, but not as good as I'd hoped. All the dramatic stuff is at the top, just for a fairly short section. It would be better in after rainfall though. Chest Hollow was nice, and some real little tucked away gems there that are just difficult to get to. But again, after heavy rain, those would be quite impressive. And I really enjoyed the walk back. Cuckoo Rocks were quite dramatic and gave some really good views of Shutlin Slough. So yeah, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.